Whenever a new animated DC film drops, I can't wait to watch it, and a few weeks ago Gotham by Gaslight released. Gotham by Gaslight seemed to be the perfect adaptation of one of my favorite superheroes in one of my favorite historical time periods. As I was watching it, I noticed that this comic would have translated much better into a game than a film, and I felt that I needed to make a video about how the game should be and how some scenes should be rewritten. The game would be a nice stylized combination of the Arkham series, The Order 1886, Assassin's Creed Syndicate, and the Sherlock Holmes games. The main gameplay could be similar to both Arkham and Syndicate in combat, stealth, skill, and weapon upgrades. Be able to fight the same way Batman does while being able to climb like an assassin, hide in a bush, or hitch a ride in a carriage. Fast travel should also be included from time to time. When it comes to cutscenes, I found that The Order did this beautifully. Everything in that game felt so cinematic, even when picking up collectibles. Though it was a fairly short game, and a disappointment to many, seeing all those amazing facial expressions and realistic movement really had me engaged all the way through. During Homicide side missions, players should be able to dive into Batman's true detective mode, unlike the Arkham games. Yes, the incorporation of seeing through walls while laying a smackdown on some thugs should be in the game too, but I really feel that being able to solve crimes the way it is done in the Sherlock games would enhance this so much more. Players should also be allowed to inspect the body and look for clues that can be traced to more, and when there is something that needs to be identified, Batman should be able to return to his Batcave attic and experiment with those clues. Once it nears the end of a mission, the player needs to decide who the correct suspect is. Once they do so, the player should be given the options to either kill or bring them to justice by handing them over to the police. Choosing one over the other should affect the karma levels, which will have an impact on the final decision of the game. Like some of the greatest games of all time, the title screen should be the entrance to the game, at least when you first start. It could be the Gotham City skyline, and whatever part you're at in the game, the scenery should change along with it. If the last part you were at was snowing, then let it snow. If it was raining, let it rain. Maybe it could be dependent on the villain that you're facing at the time. And it sure would be nice to have nothing but the ambience of the current state of Gotham. Yes, there is no need for music, just the cries of people yelling in terror. Damn, this got dark really fast. Like I mentioned before, it could take some pointers from The Order for cutscenes. The letterbox alone gives it a nice gritty feel. The transition between cutscenes like the title screen should be seamless so it keeps the audience engaged throughout and doesn't separate them from this world and doesn't feel disjointed. In other words, it's the most common art style that is progressively getting better: photorealism. The music is also part of an art style. In fact, it's a very fundamental component of it. This would sound like a classical instrumental soundtrack, with sounds of gears and cogs turning alongside it with some Hans Zimmer-esque feel to it. I don't know exactly what that would sound like, but my guess is it would be pretty damn good. The game should begin with a flashback to when the parents were first killed in the alleyway, and I know this has been done so many times, but I think it would be a nice twist for the end of the game, which I'll get into in a moment. Most of it will be the same as the one in the comic and the film, but the characters need further development than what they just were. It would also be nice to feature some more characters. And no, I don't mean do it like Gotham, I mean actually making them more comic book accurate. In the scene when Bruce gets taken to prison, he randomly meets Grundy, but it honestly didn't really make much sense to me. Instead, why not replace him with Bane, and when Batman thinks he can take him on during the boxing match, he eventually loses and breaks his back. He wakes up in a cell and a friend helps him gain his strength. In a few months, it will alternate between Bruce's missions and Selina's missions. For Bruce, a number of trials need to be done, and for Selina, she needs to be able to help Gotham find the key and help Bruce. Once Bruce recovers, Selina delivers the key, like in the movie. Bruce starts a riot, defeats Bane, escapes, leading to the final decision of the game: destroy the virus made by the main antagonist, Jack the Ripper, who Bruce suspected killed his parents when he really didn't, or stop the Ripper immediately. Stopping him immediately results in the deaths of almost everyone in Gotham, and stopping the virus first results in 20 casualties. It does seem pretty binary, but there will be a third secret option. When Selina frees Bruce, he has to slip a letter, written during one of the missions, to tell her the coordinates of the hostages and how they can be freed, which will unlock a mission for her. During either one of those two options, the GCPD will decide whether or not he is a menace or a hero based on your previous actions in the game, judging by their karma levels. When the Ripper is stopped, it is presumed that he is dead, when in actuality he is not, and I think it's best left as the Ripper's true identity being up to interpretation instead of it being just Gordon, because that really didn't make much sense to me. I felt like they were only doing that just for some weird plot twist. After the credits, it cuts to a man visited by Dr. Harleen Quinzel, who psychoanalyzes the patient and insists he not be called Mr. Napier, but rather Jack. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed that video, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions and any other ideas, please leave them in the comments below. And again, thank you for watching.